Manchineel Tree. A tree this ordinary-looking should not be this dangerous. Manchineel grows along beaches and coastal forests in the Caribbean, Florida, and Central America. It has shiny green leaves, small yellow-green fruits, and the kind of shade that makes you want to sit under it. That is the problem. Everything about it looks safe. The fruit even smells sweet. People have picked it up, bitten into it, and stood under it during rain without knowing what they were doing. None of those things are safe with this tree. The danger comes from a group of compounds called formyl esters found in the sap. That sap runs through the bark, the leaves, the fruit, and the wood. When it contacts skin, it does not just irritate. It causes chemical burns. Blisters form. The skin breaks down. Eating the fruit causes severe burning in the mouth and throat, swelling, and internal damage. Standing under the tree in the rain is enough to cause burns because water washes the sap off the leaves and carries it down. Burning the wood releases toxic smoke that can damage the eyes and lungs. Even driftwood from this tree has caused injuries. The Guinness World Records lists it as the most dangerous tree on Earth. That record was not given lightly. Every part of the tree, in almost every way a person might interact with it, can cause serious harm. The indigenous Carib people used the sap on arrowheads. Some Caribbean islands now paint red warning bands on the trunks. Most do not. The tree keeps growing on public beaches, looking like shade. Sandbox Tree. Most dangerous trees use chemistry. The Sandbox Tree also uses physics. It grows across tropical regions of North and South America. The trunk is covered in sharp conical spines that make it look hostile before you even get close. Its sap carries the same formyl esters as the manchineel, causing chemical burns on contact. But the Sandbox Tree has something else. Its seed pods. When the pods ripen, they explode. Not slowly, not quietly. They rupture with a sound described as a gunshot, launching seeds at speeds up to 150 miles per hour, scattering them up to 100 feet away in every direction. The mechanism is internal pressure. As the pod dries, tension builds inside the casing the way a coiled spring stores energy. When the pressure becomes too much, the whole structure fails at once. Everything releases simultaneously. The seeds are not poisonous on their own. A pod exploding near a person's face does not need to be. Spanish colonists collected the dried pods and used them as inkwell sandboxes, which is where the name comes from. They were handling explosive casings without knowing it. The tree does not warn you before this happens. Strychnine Tree. This tree looks unremarkable. Medium height, glossy leaves, small greenish-white flowers. There is nothing about it that suggests what is inside its seeds. The strychnine tree is native to India and Southeast Asia. Its seeds contain strychnine, one of the most studied and feared natural poisons ever documented. Strychnine works by blocking glycine, a neurotransmitter that tells muscles to relax. Without that signal, the body cannot stop its own muscles from firing. Every muscle contracts at once and keeps contracting. The back arches, the jaw locks, the chest compresses. Breathing becomes impossible. The person experiencing this remains fully conscious throughout. Death typically follows within 2 to 3 hours. There is no antidote that directly reverses the mechanism. Treatment focuses on controlling the convulsions long enough for the body to process the toxin. Strychnine appeared in Victorian-era murder cases. It was sold in pharmacies as a stimulant and tonic. Farmers used it to kill rodents and predators. Its history is not a story of a hidden forest danger. It is a story of a chemical that was used openly, widely, and for a long time before people fully understood what it did to a body. Suicide tree. The name was not given casually. Cerbera mongas grows along coastal regions of India, Southeast Asia, and Madagascar. It produces white flowers and a fruit that looks similar to a small mango. That fruit contains a single seed. Inside the seed is cerberin, a cardiac glycoside. It disrupts the electrical signals that regulate the heartbeat. The heart loses its normal rhythm, begins to slow, and eventually stops. The process is quiet, and the early symptoms are easy to miss or misread, which made this tree historically difficult to detect in poisoning cases. A 2004 study in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology documented over 500 poisoning cases from a single region of Kerala, India, over a 10-year period. Researchers described it as likely responsible for more poisoning deaths than any other plant in those regions. Outside of South Asia and Madagascar, almost no one had heard of it. The tree is still planted ornamentally. The fruit still falls. People who do not know what it is still pick it up. Milky mangrove. Fishermen in the Pacific Islands and parts of Southeast Asia know this tree well. They have known it for generations. They stay away from it. Excoacaria agalocha grows in coastal swamps and mangrove forests across the Pacific, Southeast Asia, and parts of Australia. Its common name comes from the white latex sap that leaks from any break in the bark. That sap contains concentrated phorbol esters. A drop on the skin causes blistering within minutes. A drop in the eye causes immediate severe pain and can result in temporary blindness. Extended contact has been linked to permanent corneal damage. Traditional communities in parts of the Pacific used the sap deliberately, poured into tidal pools. It stuns fish without killing them immediately, making collection easier. The people doing this understood exactly how dangerous the sap was. They handled it with great care and specific knowledge passed down over time. Today, tourists walk along mangrove boardwalks in Queensland and brush against this tree without knowing what it is. The tree does not announce itself. It just grows there, looking like part of the swamp. Gympie. Some dangers look dangerous. This one does not. Gympie grows in Australian rainforests. In its full form, it reaches the size of a small tree. Its leaves are large, heart-shaped, and covered in fine hairs that are almost invisible to the naked eye. It looks like something you might brush past without thinking. Those hairs are hollow silica needles, each one finer than human hair, coated in a neurotoxic compound called moroidin. When the leaf is touched, thousands of these needles break off into the skin and inject the toxin directly into the nerve endings below. The pain that follows has been described by people who experienced it as being burned, electrocuted, and having ground glass pressed into the wound, all simultaneously. That description comes from people who were trying to find words for something the language was not built to describe. The needles do not come out easily. They remain embedded in the skin. Every time moisture reaches them, including sweat, rain, or a shower, the pain reactivates. This can continue for months. During the Second World War, soldiers unfamiliar with Australian vegetation used the leaves as toilet paper. Documented cases from more recent decades include a man who shot himself to end the pain and a horse that reportedly screamed for days before dying after falling into a patch. Australian park rangers handle it only in full protective equipment. The fine needles can become airborne near the plant and cause reactions from proximity alone. There is no reliable treatment that removes them from deep tissue. The tree does not chase anyone. It just grows quietly in the rainforest, waiting. Bunya pine. This tree does not use poison. It does not need to. Araucaria bidwilli is native to Queensland, Australia, and can grow up to 45 meters tall. It produces large cones that contain edible seeds, which have been an important food source for Aboriginal communities for thousands of years. The cones are harvested carefully, respectfully, and with a full understanding of what falls from this tree when it is ready. The cones can weigh up to 10 kilograms. They fall without warning from heights of 45 meters. They do not float down. They drop with the full weight and speed of an object that has been stored at height by gravity. Some parks in Queensland close to the public during cone dropping season. The danger is not hidden in the chemistry. It is sitting in the canopy, and it falls when it is ready. Oleander. Oleander is planted along highways, in parks, in school gardens, and in front of hospitals. It survives heat, drought, and poor soil without complaint. Its flowers are pink, white, red, or yellow. It is everywhere. Almost every part of it contains cardiac glycosides, compounds that interfere with the heart's electrical signals. The mechanism is similar to the suicide tree, but found in a plant that most people treat as ordinary landscaping. The danger does not disappear when the plant is cut or dried. Dead leaves remain toxic. Smoke from burning branches has caused poisoning. Animals that chew discarded clippings have died. Honey made by bees that fed heavily on oleander flowers has been linked to illness. It is not hiding in a rainforest. It is not restricted to a remote island. It is growing outside the window of someone reading this right now, and that person almost certainly does not think of it as dangerous. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, you already know what to do.